Wood TV8 wants all veterans to have a voice today and every day. Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Sterling.
And I'm Susan Shaw. These are the stories you'll hear over the next 30 minutes or so. Ahead, we're checking in on a transitional housing project that's offering veterans a lot more than just a place to sleep. Plus, a look inside a local VA hospital celebrating 100 years of therapy and support.
And you'll meet a Marine Corps veteran who's not letting his disability stop him from making a difference in the lives of potential new recruits. A little later, we'll take you on a recent honor flight and to a retreat offering all veterans a safe space to rest and relax.
The transition out of military service can be a tricky time, even for the most prepared service member. Now, a transitional home in Kalamazoo is guiding veterans who have encountered homelessness back on the right track.
News 8's Josh Sanchez shows us how a row of garden beds in the backyard is playing a role.
Along the Kalamazoo River, housing and veteran advocates extend a helping hand to former service members.
I don't call it brotherhood or sisterhood, I call it familyhood, because that's what we need. We need to stick together and help each other.
Juan Gonzalez is the veteran navigator for Integrated Services of Kalamazoo. An Air Force veteran himself with 27 years of service, Gonzalez knows that the transition can be a difficult one, a journey that can sometimes be upended by mental health or substance abuse. That's when the Keystone Veteran Transitional House comes into play. Opened in 2020, the house provides shelter to referred homeless veterans. One of the programs at the house is a therapy garden, which took root in October 2021 with the support of the Portage Lowe's location. Gonzalez says the garden not only gives resident veterans a way to stay active, but it also visualizes their transition.
It takes a while. You know, growth from overcoming those issues takes growth within yourself to see that it's coming about, that, you know, it's going to take small steps. But eventually, hopefully, we can get them to where they need to be a better person and help the next person, pay it forward.
Since the first season, the beds have exploded with lush green vegetables, all grown by the veterans that have stayed at Keystone. Tyrone Thrash is the housing coordinator and says the garden has fostered a sense of community within the home. He says one veteran staying at the house has even served up the vegetables and herbs during house dinners.
Like, we did a couple of whole beds of greens, and yeah, he came out here and he was picking greens like every week and putting that on the menu for dinner.
While dormant for now, Thrash says the garden keeps on giving well into the next year.
There are some that come back and they continue to give, they continue to volunteer, they continue to support the other veterans that are here. So, and that's very important, because when a person's in a homeless situation, they need all the support they can get.
In Kalamazoo, Josh Sanchez, News 8.
It's an honor to be a part of that history.
Coming up on Veterans Voices, how a local VA hospital is marking 100 years and pushing its powerful mission one step further.
Hear from veterans who benefit from VA programs, therapy, and support. Plus, a look at how the facility has transformed over time. The Battle Creek VA Medical Center is celebrating 100 years of serving West Michigan veterans. News 8's Kyle Mitchell explains the impact the center has made over the past century.
A lot has changed in 100 years, but the mission of the Battle Creek VA Medical Center to provide care has remained the same.
It's invaluable. I couldn't put a price tag on it.
Ron Sand served in the Marines from 2009 to 2013, but the mental toll of his service is still something he deals with every day.
From here, the PTSD therapy has been invaluable. Medication management and routine has also proven to be very valuable.
He credits the staff for providing the treatment and support. Many are veterans or have extensive experience tailoring care to the veteran population.
I put in a lot of work in my time here, people will tell you that, but without them meeting me in the middle or wherever they met me at, I wouldn't have what I have today.
The medical center provides a variety of services, including primary and specialized care, but is best known for mental health treatment. The center and its affiliated offices see about 45,000 patients every year. The Battle Creek VA Medical Center has worked to upgrade the facility to provide the most current care. The campus has been transformed over the past 100 years, expanding from the original 22 buildings built to service 500 veterans with a focus on psychiatric care. It opened on October 15th, 1924, and became the 100th Veterans Hospital in the country.
Over that amount of time, there have been significant upgrades, especially in the past decade, of really having to modernize our infrastructure, modernize the type of clinical offerings that we're doing.
While the campus may look a little different, the focus is to keep serving veterans for generations to come.
It's an honor to be a part of that history, that legacy of caring for veterans.
Kevin Holsinger is a Navy veteran and staff member. He says too often eligible veterans aren't receiving services through the VA system. The VA estimates about 45% of people in Michigan who would meet the qualification requirements are not enrolled. Some aren't aware they're eligible or are unsure about the quality of care.
I would encourage every veteran, even if you've tried in the past, to visit the va.gov website, call, go on the internet, come stop at any one of our 5 sites of care, check out your eligibility.
In Battle Creek, Kyle Mitchell, News 8.
Ahead on Veterans Voices, meet a Marine Corps veteran with a message.
I remember going through my recovery, I was like, well, one of the things I can still do is I can still teach.
How he's overcoming adversity to mold and inspire those following in his shoes.
Heartbreak. I lost one of my friends.
We're taking you on the trip of a lifetime on an honor flight to Washington, D.C.
A retired Marine who was once in a fight for his life is now helping educate the younger generation, including potential new recruits in West Michigan. News 8's Demetrius Sanders tells us about his battle with adversity.
With a father and grandparents who served, the military has always been a part of Brian Forney's life.
I was born on a Marine Corps base in Camp Pendleton, California. My dad was an artillery Marine.
So after graduating high school in 1993, he attended the Naval Academy, earning a bachelor's degree in aerospace engineering. Forney was later service selected to the Marine Corps, where he became qualified as a CH-46 helicopter pilot.
I've always wanted to serve something greater than myself. Always been a patriot, loved the country and what it stands for. I can't really remember a time when I wasn't thinking of going into the military.
On February 20th, 2013, Forney's life changed forever. While doing mountaineering training in Thailand during Exercise Cobra Gold, he was critically injured during a helicopter mishap.
We kind of lost sight of a tree that was behind us. And then as I took power off the airplane, the rotor blades came down a little bit, hit the tree, broke one of the rotor blades. That put the aircraft out of balance. And about 5 seconds after we hit the tree, the airplane basically ripped itself apart.
Forney was with 3 others who were able to escape the wreckage, but he remained trapped in the cockpit of the burning helicopter. Just when he thought he may be out of time, he was saved.
I was able to get my feet out from underneath the console and across my co-pilot seat, and that was as far as I could get because of my other injuries. And luckily for me, Gavin Christian, my crew chief, ran up, made one last attempt to basically reach through the flames, found my boots and pulled me out.
The whole time, his mind was on his family.
They say your life kind of flashes before your eyes. I didn't really experience that. It was just kind of this, man, I screwed up and I'm not going to see my wife and kids.
The incident left Forney with severe burns and injuries to his left hand and arm, which now causes him to use a prosthetic. After being treated at facilities overseas, he was flown to the U.S. military's burn center in San Antonio, where he continued to recover.
I joke with people all the time that, they're like, hey, it's really impressive you made it through. And I'm like, well, my job for 5 straight months was just to not stop breathing. That looks like cutting edge, doesn't it?
Earlier in his career, Forney also taught at the Naval Academy, so when he was able to work again, life led him to give back to young people.
What are you doing right now with your motor output? Putting it into what? I remember going through my recovery, I was like, well, one of the things I can still do is I can still teach.
He taught for 4 years within Grand Rapids Public Schools. He's now an engineering department leader and teacher at the West Michigan Aviation Academy.
As a Marine Corps officer, you spend a lot of time with young Marines. Well, they're not a whole lot older than high school students.
In his role, he wants to help fill a need for trained engineers. It's also about giving students skills through engineering that they can carry throughout life.
Gives you some tools to take a complex problem, break it down into pieces, identify what the actual problem is, and then start looking at what success looks like, and then start that process.
No, you're driving backwards.
Forney says interacting with students and being in the classroom has been very fulfilling.
So one of the big challenges with this engineering process is actually taking the time to record your thoughts and what you do. There are days when I'm making them write stuff down in their engineering notebooks. They're not super thrilled with me, but by and large, they have fun in these classes. The challenge here for you guys is not actually building the robot. It's doing the process.
And he's thankful that the support of his family and his faith guided him through adversity.
Everything is burning around you, and it's all falling apart. Having a little bit of faith and hope and trust. It's amazing what he can do with whatever mess you create.
In Grand Rapids, Demetria Sanders, News 8.
Just ahead on Veterans Voices.
We will fight our country's battle.
When TV8 goes on an honor flight with what the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity means for Michigan vets.
It's so serene, it's quiet, it's beautiful.
And a look inside a local veterans retreat and how it helps those who may be struggling with trauma. Rest, relax, and recover. It's an experience some say they will never forget. Dozens of Michigan veterans went to our nation's capital with the MidMichigan honor flight earlier this year.
News 8's Amber Kriska went along and saw the tears, laughs, healing, and friendships form firsthand.
And I'm going to start boarding this plane from the back to the front.
It's a trip some weren't sure about.
It's our pleasure to have you on board. We appreciate your service.
They kept calling me, so finally I gave in.
Hey, how you doing, Chip? How you doing? He's looking good, mate.
For others, they hoped this day would come.
This is something I've been waiting for a while.
But for many, they quickly realized.
This is the best experience I've ever had in my life. I'll never forget this.
I'm glad I came.
This is nice, really nice. Wonderful. Great. Love it.
The names on the Vietnam Wall, they are arranged by date of death.
For some, getting to this moment wouldn't be easy. Veterans are filled with pain as they walk through the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C.
It's terrible. What a shame.
For what? No victory. A lot of young men paid the ultimate price for a war that no one understands, then come back and get spit on.
Vietnam, we didn't know anything about it, how to spell it, how to say it.
Through the frustration and hurt, these veterans are here for a specific reason.
We found him, so I saluted him up there. Good guy. He was only 21 or something.
A lot of friends here.
It's him. Found it. Bingo. Not enough women. Heartbreak. I lost one of my friends. I found a name. My best friend. That's why I'm here. My best friend in Vietnam is on that wall.
It's an image Vietnam veteran James Van Dyke can't erase from his mind.
When I saw him die in front of me, it's still like that to this very day. I have a hard time with it.
When he found his best friend's name on the wall,
I'm here. I finally made it.
It brought a sense of comfort to Van Dyke.
To see the initials on that wall and then me up there scribing them. Wow, just amazing, the feeling that you get.
Now, who was he?
The healing.
Gives me a little bit of closure.
Throughout the trip, I see heroes among heroes, bonding, sharing stories, laughing, singing together.
We will fight our country's battles on the air and land and sea.
And these Korea and Vietnam veterans are honored to be with World War II veteran Robert Holt.
He started over.
The first 106-year-old to make this trip with this group.
I was taken aback the first time. This morning I learned that he was 106 and so conversant and really upfront. My hero, believe me.
Holt served in Germany.
Somebody said, take cover, take cover.
During his first mission, his truck hit a landmine and exploded. Holt was thrown from the truck, but wasn't injured.
80 years ago, I never thought I'd be doing all of this. I was in combat and everything. Mines, machine guns, wrecks, car wrecks. I had it all in
in my combat.
1942 Fort Custer. She was stationed at Camp McCord.
There was supposed to be another 106-year-old World War II veteran on this trip. Irene Hosking, a World War II-era nurse who served in Australia, didn't feel up to the trip. But they carried this picture of her. And there were 3 other women on this trip. Thank you for your service. Marine Corps veteran Pat Sanderson is grateful to get the recognition now that women didn't always get in the past.
We weren't recognized as much as the guys.
For Richard Corney, he's amazed by what's happening during this trip.
It really gave me an opportunity to really know my dad. He didn't talk about the war. He didn't talk about his service.
He's learning more about his dad, Bernard.
I love you, Pops.
Yeah, I love you too, kid.
As a 2-day trip to Baltimore and Washington, D.C. comes to an end, the 75 veterans have no idea what's waiting for them as they return home. It's something I can't explain, so I'll just show you.
Well, let me be the first to say, welcome home.
Michael Donaldson. Where you at, Mike?
I can't explain it. It's all surprise to me.
This is the best thing that's ever happened to me, other than my family.
And after that trip, Robert Holt and Irene Hosking met in person. The two 106-year-olds spent hours together, sharing stories. Hosking died just a couple of months after that visit. Holt passed away in late August. We thank them for their service.
A World War II veteran wants to make honor flights to Washington, D.C. possible for other veterans.
This is 97-year-old Dave Lowe. He was recently recognized for spending the summer fundraising to help send 9 vets on an honor flight in October. Lowe managed to pull together more than $5,000.
Hear what inspired him to give others the opportunity of a lifetime and why he says the honor is all his right now at woodtv.com.
1,100 acres of land dedicated to those who've served.
If they want to just sit on the porch and read a book, or if they want to walk in the woods, or they want to go in the water, we let them do whatever they want to do, and I think that means a lot to them.
Next, how Wilwyn Lodge is making sure veterans have a place to unwind from the stress of everyday life. In the last 15 years, thousands of veterans have found solace at Wilwyn Lodge.
Located 100 miles north of Grand Rapids, the retreat offers a place for anyone who served in any branch to unwind. News 8's Brittany Flowers takes us there.
Deep in the woods of the Huron-Manistee National Forest, you will not find a good signal.
The cell service is terrible here. The internet's poor.
But you will find a peace that can only be felt in the quiet of nature.
How can you not just let things go and listen and look and, you know, get out and walk in the woods and just see things that you wouldn't see if you're in a hurry?
An escape from the rush of everyday life is exactly what Dwayne and Barbara Miller have been providing veterans for the last 5 years.
It's very important that they have a place that they can go to.
The Millers are full-time caretakers at Wilwyn Lodge. The retreat sits on close to 1,200 acres in Custer.
Any veteran from anywhere, all branches, can come here and stay up to 5 nights at absolutely no cost.
Every year, hundreds of people, veterans and their families, travel to Wilwyn seeking solitude and sanctuary.
I think that means a lot to them to get away from whatever it is that's going on in their life.
As a retired Army veteran himself, Dwayne knows the importance of having a place of your own.
Kind of fitting that I guess we do this.
It's in our blood.
And through the conversations with the people who stay, the Millers know Wilwyn is making an impact.
We had a gentleman that came here, and he was kind of lost. He had just gotten out of the military, lost his wife, but he sat on the porch and just read and was walking a lot. The next year he came back and he did tell us that we actually saved his life because he could come up here and he reflected on things that you can't really do at home.
They plan to continue offering that same opportunity for reflection completely free to any veteran who needs it.
It makes us feel good. It makes me feel good to know that we're here for them. They have a place.
Reporting in Mason County, Brittany Flowers, News 8.
That's it for us. Thanks for joining us for this Wood TV 8 special presentation. If you're a veteran, we want to thank you for your service. I'm Brian Sterling.
And I'm Susan Shaw. Be sure to check out all of our Veterans Voices coverage stories right now at woodtv.com.